Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest and welcome to the 13th of June 2025, the day before the best, greatest day of the year. Not because it is Donald Trump's birthday or Boy George's or Steffi Graf's. No, it's someone else's birthday that I won't mention. Anyway, time is currently 3:38 p.m, so about 30 minutes left of trading today and this week. Now, this is take number 2 because I forgot to hit the record button again. So the previous take was about 32 minutes. Now, the good thing is I've gone through all this, so I know sort of what has happened today on the ASX. Should I feign surprise when something interesting happens? No, I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, now before we have a look at what has driven our market down today, after initially our futures were hinting at a pretty good day. In fact, just before open, our futures are up 0.5%. So what has caused a little bit of weakness in our market? I'll talk about that in a second. But before I talk about that, just a few administration stuff. If you want to support this channel and myself, you can buy me a hot chocolate. Now, it is not required to view any of my videos, but if you just like to do that, just look at the link in the description of this video. I've also banked the second video for that period of time, 2-week period, 2-month period that I'm going to be away from Australia, hiking overseas. So a second bank video, and this particular bank video was looking at high quality companies on the New York Stock Exchange using a FinChat screener. There was a video I recorded back on December 26 that looked at this particular screener and some ASX companies. So you can have a look at that video. I might, if I remember, I'll leave a link in the description of this particular video. And if you do have any questions for me that I can use as standalone videos to bank for this 2-month period, feel free to provide any of these questions. And there's a good chance I might use these questions as a standalone video. Not all of them, but I'll see. So I want a lot of options. I want a lot of options because I want to record about one of these videos, these bank videos, per day over the next 2.5 months. Okay, now on to the agenda for today's video. We'll talk about why the market is down today. Then we'll have a look at the ASX today, which sort of is why the market is down today. So they're sort of linked. And then we'll have a look at the top 5 stocks of the day for the second time. Can you believe it? And then we'll have a look at the chart of the day. This is going to be a little bit different because I changed the chart of the day during the recording of the video. So I'm now excited that I can actually look at the chart of the day at the end of this video instead of in the middle of the top gainer section. Yes, I discovered this chart during that particular section. Now on to why the market is down today. So our futures were up about 0.5% before our market opened. So I was expecting a pretty good day. And then around or just after open, I noticed the ASX was languishing, a little bit lower than I expected. In fact, it was up a little bit, like 0.7, 0.0%. And then I started to see it going down. I was like, what's happening here? What is causing this weakness in the market? So I thought, it's probably something to do with American futures. So that's a good first guess. And for some reason, I cannot open this up. There we go. So currently, NASDAQ futures are down 1.7% and Dow Jones futures down 1.4%. So I had a look at the 1-minute chart for NASDAQ futures and something obviously happened at 9:58 a.m. Look at it. Look, it just collapsed at 9:58 a.m. It just fell like a rock. So obviously something happened at that point. So it was fairly easy and quick to find what happened at 9:58 a.m. So if you're not following the news of the day, I do have it right here. Israel and Iran. So Israel strikes or attacks Iran. Live updates, military and nuclear sites targeted in dozens of strikes. Israel attacks Iran. Live updates, Sydney Morning Herald. So ABC, SMH are doing live updates. The Guardian's doing live updates. 25% spike in overseas travel. What's happening there? Al Jazeera, Israel launches major strike on Iran's military nuclear sites. So that has happened today. And that is what caused the American futures to just plummet at 9:58 a.m. I did read something that Israel was concerned that Iran would have nuclear capabilities within 20 days, and that's why they have done this. but this could escalate into something more. That is why the market is concerned. Now, typically, I don't usually react to these sort of events because these sort of events, historically, the market, when it does drop, doesn't drop all that long, and then you see a rally. So these aren't the sort of events that will trigger a long-term downtrend in the market unless it really escalates into something really, really ugly. So this doesn't concern me at all. So that is why our market is down, and also why oil has gone bonkers today. Oil has gone absolutely bonkers today. In fact, if you have a look at the oil 1 minute chart, you'll see it rising at the same time as the American futures fell. And you can see the massive volume as well coming in just before 10 a.m. So oil started to really rally at about 9:58 a.m. Look at that. So if you were aware of what was happening in the world, you could have taken advantage of this and bought some oils at like 9:58, even 9:59, 10 a.m. So that's why oil has gone bonkers today, while American futures are down, why my Karoon trade has gone absolutely wonderful. Let's just have a look at Karoon. Let's have a look at Karoon, one of the best performance on the ASX today. Daily chart, yeah, up 10, 11%, even better. I'm very happy with this trade at this point in time. Anyway, so hopefully that has explained why. If you have a look at trading economics, oil and gold rally, it's the other thing. Gold's had a pretty good day as well. In fact, if you have a look at gold chart, gold is almost back to all-time highs. So this chart looks pretty good. Remember, there was a bit of weakness like a month ago, and some gold companies were falling in share price. Well, that's long in the past now. Gold back near all-time highs, and oil up. Here's oil chart. Look at that oil chart, just gone bonkers. Now, I'm not as interested in this chart as I am in Karoon. Karoon's chart looks absolutely stunning. By the way, in the previous video, I also looked at Woodside. So I thought, Woodside probably has rallied a bit, about 6%, 7.63%. This chart is looking a little bit better. And then I had a look at Beach Energy, and this was like, well, that's crap. So those are the three companies I was thinking of that might have done well today. Okay, now on to the ASX today. So, of course, yeah, we have a little bit of weakness today. I don't expect much of a rally in the last 24 minutes of trading. Tech's had a pretty bad day, which is understandable because NASDAQ is down about 2% or so, and resources had a good day. Oil and gold, not iron ore. Iron ore, I think, has had a bad day. I just want to confirm that. I didn't do this in the first video. Iron ore is down a little bit, not a lot. But BHP and Rio Tinto were down a fair bit today. Anyway, so that's the market today. Now on to the best and worst performing sectors and indices. Energy, pretty good day. Utilities, I saw utilities up 4% in the first video. I was like, oh, what's happening there? AGL and Origin have had a really good day as well, and they have driven utilities up. Staples, you would have expected, defensive companies to have had an okay day today, relatively speaking, but Woolworths was actually down. And a pretty bad day for IT, healthcare, telecommunications, and discretionary, all down by more than 0.8%. And one of the reasons why discretionary is down big is because of the stock of the day, which was a company that released an announcement or a trading update last night or yesterday evening. All gold, not all gold, all ordinaries gold, or the gold indices or sector, is that indices? Yeah, that's indices, up 4.26%. So a little bit too excited, I think, but that's a pretty good day. I do own 3 gold companies. I own 3 gold companies, 2 oil companies. So they have done really well today. So no complaining from me. And ASX 20 up or down at 0.41%. Now, I did have a look at this. And first time, 14 companies were down, 6 up. So unfortunately, I could cheat here. I could tell you, just forget everything about me already already doing a video, and I might look a little bit smart here. So I'm going to say 15 companies up, 5 down. Oh, it's gone the other way. There's 7 companies up: Woodside, QBE, Transurban. Damn it, I've already forgotten. Northern Star. Not Woolworths was down 0.3%. I don't think it's gone up. Brambles, Goodman Group, and Fortescue. Let's have a look how right I am. Woolside, Northern Star, Transurban, which is defensive. I actually did guess that first time around. The only ones I did get wrong, I didn't expect Fortescue to be up. I didn't mention Goodman Group, but that was a stupid thing because if you go back to, whoops, if you go back to this, no, real estate was down. Anyway, go back to here, and yeah, Wolves is down, but only slightly now. And the worst performing companies in the ASX 20 was WiseTech. And yeah, we had BHP, CSL now down back below $240. Still think below 240 is a good time to buy some CSL, and CBA down 0.75%. Okay, now on to the top gainers and the top losers. First of all, I'm just going to make sure I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording. I should have done that first time around. Juno Minerals sold something, share price up 28%. Syntara had a good day the other day. And Amaero 3DA, share price up 21.31%. This is the chart of the day. So I actually did have a look at Amaero. And then as soon as I saw the chart, I went, oh, this should be the chart of the day, because I had a hard time finding a good chart of the day. And I ended up just choosing Oracle, because Oracle share price up 13% overnight on a really bullish outlook from this AI company. And I am a holder of that company, so I'm a little bit biased. And also in my banked video, I did mention Oracle because it is the fourth biggest high quality company on the New York Stock Exchange. Anyway, so I replaced Oracle with Amaero as a chart of the day. So I'll record that bit or feature Amaero towards the end of the video. Other than that, there was nothing here, and it hasn't changed. I did have a look at Renascor. Renascor Resources did release something. So I'll have a look at that again. I forget what they released. It was, memory can be bad. Ministerial approval for battery anode material facility. The chart, I came away from the chart or looking at the chart going, meh, it wasn't that exciting. Just. It has the potential to be exciting, particularly share price gets above 8 cents, but I'm not excited right now for Renascor. Okay, back to the top gainers by market cap. And you'll notice dominated by oil, energy, and gold. Woodside, Origin, Evolution, Newmont, Capricorn, Westgold, Emerald, Karoon, Kingsgate, Chalice Mining, and Tipper Minerals, I'm assuming that's gold, Horizon Oil, then Amaero, and then Visan, and then Coast Entertainment Holdings. And Euros Hartley's is doing a capital return. And Petronas Resources, that company did ring a bell. What did they release? Oh, there was a price and volume query. Okay, drilling results at Iron King and Cardinia projects. Okay, so there's that. Oh, they'll trading halt. That's probably what I remember. They went into trading halt yesterday afternoon. So the share price must have risen a fair bit yesterday afternoon. Yeah, 20%. And then, yeah, that's a little bit dodgy when they do release something. I wonder if they actually did mention they did have some information they had not released in the market. Yes, they answered yes. That's not a good look. You don't get many of these yeses as an answer to question one because it's sort of like they're hinting at insider trading. Okay, back to the top losers. Actually, not back to, because I'm starting in this section right now. Accent Group, stock of the day by far, share price down 25% on a trading update. We'll have a look at that company later in the video. Cettire down again. Now, the reason Cettire is down again, and one of the reasons why trading updates are so powerful is because after you see a trading update, like a profit upgrade or profit downgrade, you will see broker updates. And we saw that with Bell Potter today. They released a downgrade for Cettire. It was a pretty big downgrade. The fair value went from 47 cents to 28 cents. And they also mentioned the possibility of a capital raising because the cash on hand is dropping like a rock. So no surprise, Cettire is down again. I would be surprised if it's down much further from here. So possible good trade with a possible bounce if the market is overreacting, but 2 bad days in a row for Cettire. And I think that was it. That was it. And top losers by market cap. Neuron down. I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, Dateline's down. I don't remember looking at any companies in this list. In fact, it's changed. It has changed. I think I mentioned a lot of these companies are just down on a bit of noise. Like Dateline is just all over the place. And Coronado, I'm pretty sure that rallied and is down now. Okay, now on to the top 5 stocks of the day, and then we'll have a look at the chart of the day. So this one is actually, I'm moving along a little bit quicker on this one, which is understandable. Now, coming in number 5, we have 2 companies, and those 2 companies are Syntara, share price down 1.47%. You might be saying, why is this in the top 5? And we also have Clarity Pharmaceuticals in the top, both at number 5, share price down 7.26%. So what's happening here? Well, let's start off with Syntara, and you'll get a bit of an understanding. So at open, I did have a look at the top gainers and top losers. So this was just after open, about 10:25. No, it would have been 10:30. So it's just after the 20-minute delay. So 10:30 would have been right, because that means every single company was trading. And Syntara was one of the best performing companies of the day. So I was going through and trying to find the top 5 stocks of the day. And I thought, well, Syntara had a really good start, so maybe it should be a part of the stock of the day. And then the share price was down. I was like, whoa, share price is down. What's happening here? So yesterday, share price closed at 6.8 cents, went to a high of 8.3 cents today, which means at one point at the high, Syntara share price was up 20%. So a fair bit of selling has come in. They did release new positive interim data in phase 2 study of SNT 5505. Now, I'm not the biggest fan. I shouldn't say that. I don't usually get too excited about phase 2 trial results because phase 2, it does extend the study, but I get way more excited about successful phase 3. That's where I get excited about a company and the potential new treatment or new drug. So this is just phase 2. So I wouldn't really get excited about this sort of announcement. So let's have a look at the chart for Syntara. And we saw a lot of selling during the morning. So why was it selling? So if you have a look at the daily chart for Syntara, share price was in a really nice uptrend between June. Oh, look at that. 14th of June, there was a moving average crossover 1 year ago. So between June and around about March. So there would have been a lot of people who bought some shares in this company between December and March at higher prices than what the share price is now. And the main reason they're buying is because the chart looks pretty good, a bit of FOMO as well. And then the share price fell in April, late March, early April, has recovered a little bit. But a lot of those shareholders who are underwater would consider this company to be a dog stock, because that's the mentality of a lot of investors. If the share price drops after they bought, it's a dog stock. It's not their fault. It's not their fault for buying because of FOMO or anything like that. It's the company's fault. It's a dog stock. I shouldn't have bought this company. It's a dog stock. Share price has dropped. So what they're doing is they don't want to sell at a loss. So they wait for the share price to recover back to where they bought, which is interesting, because if the share price recovers back to where they bought, there's a chance the share price is moving into an uptrend, which is really interesting. And the reason I know this is a mentality out there is because I've heard this a lot. I've heard this a lot from individual investors. So it is out there. Anyway, so we did see the share price rally into that zone where a lot of shareholders did buy. So a lot of their shareholders saw the share price rally into their zone and went, ooh, I can now sell, not at a loss. So there would have been a lot of pressure on the share price when the share price rallied, and there was just too much selling coming in and not enough buying, and the share price just dropped. You can see that in volume as well, not a lot of volume coming through. So that little bit of extra pressure on the share price, and the share price has gone back down to where it was yesterday. So from being up 20% to now being down. So that's Syntara. Clarity is similar, but not quite identical. Now I'm underwater with this one, but instead of selling, I'm looking to buy more Clarity Pharmaceutical shares. So share price has gone from $9 at a high in September last year, all the way down to $1.50 as a low. I am almost confident that is a low, but if the share price does fall below $1.50, I'm more likely to buy more shares in this exciting company. I do think there's a chance now we're going to see a consolidation phase, share price going sideways, and a little bit different than Syntara. Now, there would be a lot of shareholders underwater with this one, a lot, like me. And so you're going to see increased selling pressure anytime share price goes on a bit of a rally. Now, the longer the share price goes sideways, the less likely you're going to see selling pressure if the share price breaks out. The reason behind that is when the share price of a company goes sideways, these shareholders who are underwater get bored. They get bored and just sell. And we want that to happen. We want all those shareholders who bought at high prices to sell because they suck as shareholders. They think this is a dog stock because the share price has dropped since they bought. So more time a share price can consolidate, the better it is when the share price breaks out in the future. So I do like long-term consolidation phases. Sort of like Gentrack had a 3-year consolidation phase, and I had to be patient with that one. Woo, I did. Okay, so those are the two. Oh, by the way, Clarity, I was going to call it Clintaville. Clarity had top line, what was it? Top line, yeah, Sabre top line results. And share price did open up higher, so at 245. So that would have been like a 5% rise in share price on open. 5%? Yeah, 5% on open. And then went from being up 5% to being down 7.48%. Okay, so that's Syntara and Clarity coming in at number 5. Coming in number 4, we have Control Bionics. Share price up 3.3% on a trading update and Neurostrip progress. This is a small company. You don't have to go to market index to look at the market cap again. Market cap is about $9 to $10 million. And funny enough, and if you have a look at my little search history here, if I actually close this, you can see in my search history is Bionic Man. For some reason, this company well, it's pretty obvious why. For some reason, I just thought $6 million man, Bionic Man. And then I also thought of The Office. There was the episode, I think might have been the first episode, where Michael Scott did the $6 million man movement, that sort of thing. So all these memories come flooding back when I just saw this company, saw the name, Control Bionics. So Control Bionics, small company, trading update. So even though it is a small company, when a company issues a trading update, I am going to have a look at it. Now, I did also have a look in the previous version, had a look at the Appendix 4C. This company is still a fair way off from reaching the inflection point of becoming profitable. So they did burn through over $1 million of cash in the last quarter, about $3.6 million year to date. Cash receipts about $1.6 million, and they spent about $1.5 million just on workers. So they're still a little bit away from being cash flow positive. So this is not on my radar just yet. But I have had a look at this company in the past, a fairly quick look. They do stuff with creating autonomous wheelchairs, and also stuff for people who can't communicate. So MNS, motor neuron disease, and also ALS. So they're creating technology so those people are able to communicate. So let's have a quick look at this trading update. Now, I did have a little bit of a gripe, not a gripe, I'm being a little bit mean. I did have a little bit of a laugh when they mentioned in the key highlights, financial year 25 revenue on track to be a record year. I would want this company to have a record revenue every single year because they are so small. So I want every single year to be greater, for their revenue to be greater than the previous one. Anyway, so record revenue up 14% to 5.4 million. So only 5.4 million in revenue. They also talked about US sales growth accelerating, Australian revenue growth with improved NDIS approval consistency, although you don't want to know my opinion on NDIS. And also talking about Neurostrip commercialization progressing and something about NeuroBounce. Anyway, so I don't know enough about this company to comment on those. And again, because the company is still a little bit off from hitting that inflection point, maybe one to put on your watch list, but I'm just not there just yet. Okay, so let's have a look at the chart for Control Bionics. And I can't remember this chart at all, and I can see why. Okay, so yeah, there's no reason to be excited about this chart at all. No reason, share price in a downtrend, long-term lows, if not all-time lows. And look at, since this company listed in late 2020, share price has dropped from $1.10 all the way down to 3.1 cents. Not the sort of company you want to be holding for the long term. Okay, although I must have had a look at this company in the past because I put a little resistance zone there. This would have been about or over a year ago. It did break out of that resistance zone, but it didn't last long. Okay, so that's Control Bionics coming in at number 4. In at number 3 is another company I don't know much about. Saunders International, some sort of engineering company. They also released an announcement titled Resignation of Managing Director and Revised Guidance for Financial Year 25. So even though I've never looked at this company much in the past, as soon as I saw Revised Guidance for Financial Year 25, I opened it up. Now, I'm not going to focus on the resignation of Managing Director and revised guidance. I'm not going to focus on the resignation of Managing Director. I'll focus on the revised guidance. That's the more powerful thing here. Some might disagree, but I would say the Managing Director and CEO might have resigned because bad performance. I have no idea. I actually didn't go through that, but I was more interested in the revised guidance, and it is a downgrade. Now, I actually mentioned first time through that I was surprised the share price has not dropped even more because this was a pretty nasty downgrade. So downgrade in revenue and adjusted EBITDA. So revenue down a little bit, not a lot, but from 210 to 225 down to between 206 and 216. But adjusted EBITDA has been downgraded by a fair bit. So we'll say by about 33% or so. So previously they expected adjusted EBITDA to be between 14 and 16. Now it's expected to be between 9 and 10. That's a fairly big downgrade. So I was a little bit surprised the share price is not down even more. So only down 6.5%. Now onto the chart. And this is another one where the chart is not that inspiring, which is understandable. But we have seen a bounce today. We did see a bounce. Share price as low as 65 cents. So that's, I could sort of understand why you would sell this at 65 cents, but some people have been buying today, and maybe it's just because the share price is at long-term lows. So last time share price was this low was during the uptrend in 2021. So that's Saunders coming in at number 3. Now, I did have a tough time finding a top 5 stocks, searching high and low, not load. And eventually I just came up with Dalrymple at number 2. Brookfield divests approximately 23.2% of Dalrymple. This is a private equity company who originally listed Dalrymple on the ASX. So even though they are selling 23.2% of the company, they still own 49%. So in a way, this is a market maybe overreacting just a little bit. So BIP, Bermuda Holdings, a subsidiary of Brookfield Infrastructure Partners. Anyway, so it's really interesting when the share price of a company like this drops 5.9%. That's a fair bit for an infrastructure company. So is this an opportunity? Now, the chart looks pretty good. Still looks pretty good. Dalrymple. Share price has been in uptrend for a while. There it is. In fact, it's been an uptrend for about 2 years. So share price not doing much since it listed. From when it listed all the way through to 2022, share price going sideways, and then it took off, looks like in October 2022. And you could have bought on that breakout at about 230, and the share price has gone up about 70, 80%. So in all that, nice uptrend. Is this a buy the dip situation for Dalrymple? It could be. I don't think you're going to get much upside with this one, but I do think you'll get a nice little dividend and potential upside. Dividend yield is 7.17%. So yeah, I think there could be a little bit of play here. I don't think you're going to get massive returns, but it's looking pretty nice. And finally, the stock of the day is a no-brainer. Accent Group released their trading update last night at 5:37 p.m. or yesterday, late afternoon, early evening. So they released it at 5:37 p.m. because they thought, oh, maybe if we release it late, everyone will miss it and the share price won't go down 24%. It doesn't work like that, of course. Now, more than likely, they got the news during the day and went, oh, crap, we have to release this. So things are not moving in the right direction. Oh, what are we going to do? We should all resign, that sort of thing. Anyway, so this was a negative update. There's no doubt about it. A few negative things about this. So like-for-like sales fairly weak. Conditions remain to be challenging. They're talking about the prevailing promotional environment, along with a disciplined focus on managing inventory levels in a lower sales environment, continues to put pressure on gross margins. I do think there's a lot of investors who don't realize how important gross margins are. So I do really like to focus on gross margins. They can tell us a lot about the company. For instance, Accent Group, they have no moat. They have very little moat. And they can just see it, prevailing promotional environment. So increased competition in this space, and there's more promotions, and that does affect the financial performance of this company, putting pressures on their gross margins. So as soon as I saw that, I went, oh, the share price is going to plunge. And it did. By the way, gross margins down 80 basis points, which is a fairly big drop. So no surprise, the share price is down. We're almost at the closing auction. Looks like the share price will be down a fair bit, even in the closing auction. And I'll just have a look at the chart now for Accent Group. Now, Accent Group, it says it listed here in 2017, but it was another company, and that other company was RCG. I can't remember what happened. So 30th of November, it wasn't a listing then. They changed their name. And if we have a look at the weekly chart for Accent Group, is this a time to buy this company? Is this an overreaction? Now, if we have a look at the weekly chart, there is a fair bit of volatility in this company. And there is a possibility that the share price is moving to a low. So just after listing, there was a low in COVID-19 and a low back in June, October. Remember, there was that down period. And the share price is getting close to those lows. So that's around about $1.20 or so. So this could be an interesting buy at those levels. Okay, dividend yield. I don't think the company would be overly stretched when it comes to valuation either. But if you have a look at the daily chart, it's a really bad daily chart, really big volume coming through. It wouldn't be surprised to see some negative trader updates or broker updates over the next few days, which could force the share price down even further. And the closing auction should be almost at an end. And it doesn't look like the share price will drop much from $1.37. Okay, so that's Accent Group coming in at number one, the stock of the day, a negative trading update from the company. And it's funny, we are probably seeing more negative trading updates than positive, yet the market is near all-time highs. So there is a bit of disconnect between what we're seeing with individual companies and what the market is seeing. And I think that means there could be further downside, particularly once we go into reporting season in August. If there's a lot of disappointing results, we could see a bit of weakness in the market. Now onto the chart of the day. Fine today, this one, just the chart, not the company. Anyway, so this is Amaero 3DA. Share price was in a downtrend. This is portrayed by this sloping dashed line connected to two highs. So the highs in May 2024 in October 2024, and every single time, the share price got back up to this downtrend line, we can see a bit of selling coming in until the 2nd of June. So it looks like there was a little bit of breakout, a potential breakout on the 2nd of June, maybe confirmation on the 3rd or 4th of June. And look what the share price has done since then. So this is a classic breakout, but not on any positive news. So this is just a nice little breakout, lacking the positive news. So not a classic Kneppy breakout, because I do want that breaking out on positive news, but I do like these sort of charts. And for some reason, share price is up 16.39% today. Don't know why. No news flow from the company. So that is the chart of the day. Amaero, nice little breakout for this small company. I think that's a market of $200 million. Yeah, $210.57 million. Okay, that's all I have for today's video. If you have any questions, any thoughts, leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I'm not a financial advisor. If you need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day. Bye.